Hello, 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 my loves, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to attend this broadcast. Today, you're going to learn how to be a more efficient and effective mompreneur. Do you find yourself oftentimes working and running constantly, but not getting very much accomplished? Or maybe you feel exhausted trying to handle your business, your family, your kids, your husband, and even your life, and you know that no matter what decision that you make, that something or someone is going to suffer. Or maybe you're just looking for ideas to become a more effective and a more efficient mompreneur and manage the CEO mom lifestyle better. If any of these three ideas resonates with you, then this broadcast will be beneficial. I want to first thank Odessa for creating the Sorority of Survivors and bringing women together from all over the world to really stand strong and no longer be victims, but to stand up and say, hey, I'm a survivor. So I want to thank her first off for all the work that she's doing for women. Thank you so much, Odessa. And I want you to get your pens and your paper out and ready, because along the way I'm going to tell you to jot down some notes, and you can also take your own notes because definitely the ideas that I give you today, if you implement them, I am telling you, you will see progress in your life. My mentor, Shay Brown, always says, one idea implemented is better than 1,000 ideas you know right now. And believe me, I'm telling you, it's true. If you implement one idea, it can change your life. I have 3 outcomes today. 3 ideas that we're going to talk about. Number 1 is time management, and how improving your time management skills will help you to get more done and get it done more effectively during the day. Number 2, we're going to talk about your mindset and how your mindset and your belief system really plays a part in what you accomplish and how you go about doing things in your life. And the third thing we're going to talk about is resistance. And not only resistance from other people, but resistance from within. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of who I am, and then we are going to dig deep in the content because I really don't have very much time with y'all tonight. A little bit about me. My name is Ashley Love, and I am the visionary mompreneur. And I'm a divorced mother of 3 daughters, ages 9, 6, and 4. And I started my career out working in the medical field. I was working that typical 9 to 5, and then all of a sudden it turned into a 12-hour shifts sometimes, and then it was 16-hour shifts. And I really was not happy. I was not happy because I wasn't able to spend the time with my kids I wanted to. I wasn't happy because I felt like that I had a greater passion and that I could do bigger and better things than what I was doing in the medical field. But at that time, we do have to, I don't want you to think that if you're not already an entrepreneur, that you should just jump out there like I'm going to tell you that I did. But, sometimes you may have to work that job that, you are content with until you really get things going. But my story of being a mompreneur really started one day when all 3 of my kids came up to me. And they said, Mom, we need to talk. And if you've ever seen my kids, my oldest one is very shy. My youngest one is the princess, the posh princess one. She's the diva. And then my middle daughter is the real outgoing one. So my middle daughter comes in leading this group, if you can only imagine. She's leading them behind her. And she walks in and she says, Mom, we got to talk. I'm like, okay. Well, let's sit down. What do we need to talk about? And my daughter said, Mom, you work all the time to provide for us, but we never see you. We never get to spend time with you. You're always gone, and then when you're home, you're tired and you're sleeping. That was the truth. That was definitely the truth. And it was in that moment that I said, you know what, things have to change. Because I'm a single mom, you know, these 3 girls look up to me. I've got to do something. I've got to be able, you know, to do more with them. And my daughter continues, Mom, we have field trips. You know, you signed the permission slips for them. Well, we have field trips, and you don't even get to go on them. You don't get to have fun with us anymore. You don't come to our school events, and I mean, I'm telling you, by this time, I just want to hang my head, and I want to cry. And I'm not going to tell you that after that conversation that I didn't cry. But I made a decision soon after that I was going to become an entrepreneur. I stepped out on faith, and when I tell you I stepped out on faith, I stepped out on faith. It was not an easy road for me in trying to balance my kids and my business and trying to make sure that I still had the funds I needed to pay our bills, to make sure that, hey, we kept the lights on, we ended up having food in the refrigerator. You know, that was a very hard time for me. But the thing about it is that I did step out on faith, and I believed at that point that was my only option. That was what I had to do. So I put all of my effort, all of my time, and all of my energy into it. But 3 months later, let me tell you what happened. My daughter's walking again. My middle daughter leading the bunch. Mom, we need to talk again. I said, okay. What do y'all need to talk about, sweetie? Mom, you work at home now. You don't even go to work. But yet you still don't spend any time with us. We have to beg for time with you. You're on the phone all the time. You tell us to be quiet. We can't even talk to you. And you're still not going on field trips. You're still not having fun with us. You're still not at our school events. Come on, Mom. And it was in that moment that I realized that I had went from working that 9 to 5 to the 12-hour shifts, to the 16-hour shifts, to becoming an entrepreneur and working 24/7. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt like that was, you know, preventing you from doing other things in your life because you're working 24/7, focused only on your business? That's how I was. You know, I felt down and out because I had left that 9 to 5. Now I'm working as an entrepreneur. How am I going to juggle it all? How am I still going to give my kids the attention they need, but I'm still going to get the things that I need to get done so that I can provide for us? Because my income was the sole income. I was raising 3 kids by myself. So I couldn't give up. I could not give up. Giving up was not an option. As much as I wanted to at some points, I couldn't. That was not an option. That was not a possibility. A mentor of mine, Shay Brown, always says that an entrepreneur's light is never out. But I'm going to give you my take on it. I'm going to give you the mompreneur's take on it. A mompreneur's light is never out. But if you don't turn the entrepreneur light off sometimes, you will burn out. Jot this down in your notes because it's very important. And it's something that I had to learn. A mompreneur's light is never out. But if you don't turn the entrepreneur light out sometimes, you will burn out. And that's what I almost did. I was so close to that point where I wanted to give up everything, like I said, but just my faith, the faith walk that I stepped out on when I became an entrepreneur is what kept me from saying I quit, I give up. Because at that point, giving up was not an option. Sometimes we can get so wrapped up in our businesses and in our careers that we forget why we're even doing it in the first place. Why did you start your business? What is your purpose? Because see, my purpose was to leave the 9-to-5 role, to leave the medical field so that I could spend more time with my kids. But once I became an entrepreneur, I wasn't completing my purpose. That's what was making me so upset and so torn down, because I was not living in my purpose. My purpose was to spend more time with my kids, and I wasn't doing it. So that's why it is so important to know your purpose. What are you waking up in the morning, putting a smile on your face, putting your clothes on, and walking out of the house? Why are you doing that? There's a reason. I'm telling you, there's a reason that you get out of bed every morning. What is that reason? The power of purpose, you can almost compare it to light. You can almost compare it to light. Diffused or scattered light really doesn't have much purpose. It really doesn't do very much, except it lights your room. But when energy is concentrated as into a magnifying glass, then guess what? Light can burn through paper. And take it a step further and concentrate that same light into something like a laser beam. And what do you have? You have something that can actually cut through steel. It literally has the power to cut through steel. Well, that is like your purpose. A clear sense of purpose enables you to focus all your efforts into one thing, instead of doing this and 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 this. And that's what it feels like. It literally feels like you're going crazy because you have so many things going on and you're not focused narrowly on anything. So you're not doing anything completely and getting it done because guess what? You've got too many things going on. And that's what causes you then to be like, man, I've got too much on my plate. What am I going to do? So you need to figure out, take out your pen right now and write down what is your purpose. Think about it. What is your why? Because knowing your why is so important because it's the first stop to finding out how to achieve your goals and how to create the life that you enjoy living versus merely surviving. Let me say that again. Knowing your why is important because it's the first step to find out how to achieve your goals and to create the life that you enjoy living versus merely surviving. Okay? That is very important because merely surviving to me it's what I call living your life in black and white. It is living your life in black and white. Imagine this. Your kids hand you a coloring sheet that's just the outline. They haven't colored on it. And I know me, I hand it back and I say, hey, baby, color mama a pretty picture. And why do I do that? Because it looks better and more vibrant when you've got color. Well, living in black and white means you're living merely to get by. There's no fun. You're not doing anything that really pleases you or gives you, that good, happy feeling. You're not spending time with your kids, or at least fun time with your kids. If you're living that life right now, if you are living that life right now, I want you to change it. It is time to color your life. One thing that worked with me and some of the women that I've worked with is to create a creativity board. It's just like a vision board. You take a poster, I spread out all my magazines around, and I cut out pictures of different things that really represent stuff that I want to accomplish. Like this year, mine had a plane on it. I'm 27 years old and I've never been on a plane. Don't judge me. I wasn't too hip on flying. Let's say that. But I knew that I had to step outside of my comfort zone so that I could end up doing bigger and better things and accomplishing the goals that I needed to accomplish. The idea behind a vision board is really to surround yourself with images of your intention, who you want to become, what you want to create, what you want to accomplish, and to really boost your awareness of that. And then your passion, I'm telling you, your passion will grow. And as your board evolves, then you're really going to see that you're becoming more focused on your passion. On exactly, now you're going to start seeing you're narrowing down on your passion. And then you're able to recognize what's missing. Then you can say, okay, I have bigger and better ideas for this. I can change this around, or it will really expand your creativity. You'll find yourself more creative with the ideas that you have and how to accomplish your goals and to actually reach the finish line, and to make sure that you're living your purpose. So if you have never done a creativity board, I'm going to tell you that is something that is going to help you define your passion and to really be able to live in your purpose. Now, let's really dig into the details of our 3 outcomes, because my time is short with you, so I don't want to go over too long. But the first key to becoming a more effective and efficient mompreneur is doom. You guessed it, time management. Oh yes. If you can manage your time, then guess what? Things are going to get so much easier for you in your business, in your life. You'll have more time for you, for your family, for your husband, for your kids. I'm telling you, time management is key. Write it down, jot that down in your notes. Time management is key. Time is our most valuable asset. Once time passes, guess what? We can't get it back. So if we waste time, there's no saying, hey, I wasted time, but hey, I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull back that time. I'm going to rewind that tape. There is no rewinding. There is no pulling back the film. There is no getting time back, because once time passes, hey, it's in the past. We're now in the present. So time can either propel you into making progress in your life, or time can stop you. Time can be what holds you back. Are you allowing time to hold you back? One of my favorite time management quotes is by Zig Ziglar. People often complain about a lack of time when a lack of direction is the real problem. Jot that down in your notes. People often complain about a lack of time when lack of direction is really the problem. That's true. Sometimes we don't pinpoint exactly what we're doing with our time and how we're going to do it. And so we're just doing just to do, unsure of really what we want our outcome to be. I have had an amazing opportunity this past year to work with the Master of Sales, Shay Brown of Peak Performers Institute. And I'm telling you, it has been an amazing experience. Not only has he taught me so much about sales, but he's taught me a lot about life. And he's taught me that there's 3 areas in any aspect of our life that we can improve on. And he teaches this in sales, but I'm telling you, it can go for any area of your life. There's the inner game, which is your mindset. It's your belief system. And then there's the outer game, which is the tactical side of things. That includes your processes, your systems, and your tools. And then we've got action. And I ask you right now, are you taking the right kind of action to get the results that you desire? We're going to go through these a little bit out of order, but the principles are really going to stay the same. The first step to better time management is to plan your day ahead of time. Like I said, if you're not planning your day ahead of time, then guess what? You're going and doing just to do with no real sense of purpose of what you're trying to accomplish. Let me tell you a little bit about me and how I learned that time management is so very important. For y'all who don't know, I stay in Louisiana, out in the middle of the country. I stay in what you call the sticks. I stay, oh my, you can call it the boondocks. I stay far out. And to get to town, it takes me about 45 minutes to get to at least the nearest Walmart. We're lucky we do have a gas station. We do have $1 General. But besides those, if you want to do anything else, it's at least 45 minutes. Well, my office is in town. So I would leave home and I'd go to town without any real plan, just that I'm going to go to my office, I'm going to get some work done. And I'd go there, and then I would think about it, and I'm like, wait a minute. I could have done this while I was in town, or I should have done that, or oh my goodness, this has to be done today. I've got to go back home. Mind you, I was wasting time. It took me 2 hours to get to town and back every day. I was wasting money because I was spending it on gas. And this type of day happened for, I'm telling you, at least a month. I was coming to town, realizing that I left something at home, that I wasn't prepared, that there's something I needed to do, and I had to go back home, and then I had to come back out, and I was wasting my time and I was wasting my money. And then it hit me one day, I'm tired of living the same day over and over again. I've got to do something. And that's when I realized I had to change my time management skills. So I started taking 8 to 10 minutes every day, every morning. Before I start my day, before I do anything, I take time to write down exactly what I want to do for the day. A wonderful tool that I use is Evernote, because you can have it on your cell phone, you can have it on your computer, you can have it, even there's an app, if you have Windows 8, there's an app that you can put on there. There's so many different ways that you can access it. But what it is it is a program to where you have notebooks. And in those notebooks, you can create notes. And each month, I have a different notebook. So I'll say, if this is October, Then I'll have October's notebook, and each note will be a different day. And I sit down in the morning and I lay out all of my tasks. And then there's little check boxes that you can check mark as you complete things. And I'll put my check box down, put what I need to do for the day, and then I'll go through, and it gives me such a sense of satisfaction to be able to check off each of those things. So I'm going to post out in the group in a minute exactly the link to Evernote. There's also a timer on it where you can set it and say, hey, at 2 o'clock today, I want it to alert me to check in with myself. I love it because if I get caught up in something, that alerts me to, hey, these are the priorities that I didn't accomplish yet. I better zoom in and really try to get these things done. So I'll post that link out in the group. I definitely encourage you to get that. There's so many other things you can do on it. You can post pictures. You can even post websites, PDF files. There's a lot of stuff. So it's kind of like, you know, my whole management of my day is in there. If there's a receipt I need to save, I stick it in there. If there is, you know, a copy of a doctor's excuse for one of my kids, hey, I snap a photo of it, stick it in there. That way I can go back to it. And I have a record with me on my phone wherever I go. So that's an awesome tool. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever got onto a certain task and it was only supposed to take 10 minutes, but you got caught up in it and all of a sudden it took an hour and now you're wondering where your time went and you're behind schedule? That has happened a lot to me with Facebook and social media, because I'll end up going on there. I'll say, hey, I'm going to post one post for my business, or I'm going to post one tweet. And then I get on there and I start browsing and I start reading. And then all of a sudden, an hour's gone by. And then I'm behind schedule. And I'm trying to play catch up for the rest of the day. Why? Because, hey, I was on Facebook. And, you know, that doesn't look good. Why are you late for the meeting? Because I was on Facebook. No, that doesn't play out too well. So I found another app that really has helped me to manage what I do with my time and how long it takes for me to do a certain task. It's called the 30/30 app, 30/30. And it's a time management app. It's not a to-do list. So that's why I told you about Evernote first, because that's where you're going to put your to-dos. But the 30/30 app is more of a time management app that's going to help you to put in your task, and then you set the amount of time that you want to use on, or you want to spend on that certain task. And then it's going to alert you when that time's up. And I use it for phone calls. That's one of my biggest things. I will get on the phone and I will talk and talk and talk and talk and not realize the time is just a rolling on by. So what I do is when I go to make a phone call now, I'll set it in the 30/30 app. I'll say phone call, 10 minutes, set it. And you can set more than one, and it'll just continuously go from one to the next. But I will get on the phone as soon as it beeps. Hey, I'm hanging up. I'm like, hey, look, you know what? Let's set another time, and we'll continue this conversation. And usually they're like, okay, yeah, especially if we're not done. And I move on to the next task. So I'm not stuck. That is my way out of my phone conversation if I'm on it too long. And especially if it's something that's not business related. So also, you know, you can end up getting that out. I'll post that out in the group as well. I'll post some videos that'll help y'all kind of get started with it. But you can find it. It's on iPad and iPhone. I thought it was on Android, but I use it on my tablet. And someone recently told me that it's only on iPad and iPhone. But if you have those, please go. I'm telling you, do yourself a favor and go download those apps because they will definitely help you. Because what really got me about it and what I enjoy is that there's a clock and it's ticking down the time. So if I set it for 30 minutes and then I finish in 20 minutes, I'm like, woohoo, I beat the clock. I beat the clock. And so to me, it's exciting. It's almost like a game, where I can set it and I can go and it'll move me from one task to the next. So that's what's so awesome about it. If you haven't heard of it, go check it out. It is the 30/30 app. So I'll post that in the group, like I said. And I definitely, if you don't have it, go get it. Another thing that really holds us back is our mindset. So now I've told you that you've got to definitely know what your purpose and your why is. Really narrow in to your time management skills and how you're spending your time and asking yourself the question, is this really the best use of my time? But now I want to get into how your mindset plays such an important role, especially as a mompreneur, because guess what? Your mindset is not only what you're projecting to others, business people that you meet, or people you meet out in the community, but it's really projecting onto your kids. So we really need to zoom in and say, okay, let's focus on our mindset. Our life is really what our minds make it. So if we are filling our minds with negativity, then guess what? We're going to live a negative life. But if we're filling our mind with positive thoughts, positive affirmations, positive people, then what's going to happen? We're going to live a positive life. And honestly, if we consistently fill our mind with either of these, that's what we're going to live. If we consistently fill our mind with negativity, then what are we living? A negative life. If we fill it with positivity consistently, what are we living? A positive life. And the key word that I want you to really get in there, and why I repeated it, is consistency. Consistency. Shay Brown has drilled into my head for this past year that consistency is key. Consistency is key. But what do we struggle with most? You guessed it. Consistency. Right now, I want you to stop and I want you to put hashtag consistency into the group, because that is what we really need to work on, is consistency. And then while everybody's putting consistency into the group and thinking about how consistency can really play a role in their life, I want you to take out your cell phone. I want you to take out your cell phone for a minute, and I want you to do something for yourself. I want you to get onto your camera, and I want you to take a selfie. And you can take that selfie, you can post it into the group if you like. But I want you to take that selfie and hold it for a little bit, because we're going to come back to this and we're going to do an activity. But jumping right back in, your thoughts every day are directly tied to your actions. Your thoughts every day are directly tied to your actions. So what you feel about yourself, your business, your life, even your tasks that you have to do for the day, guess what? How you feel about them will directly reflect in the actions that you take towards each of those things. So boost your mindset, boost your life. Post that into the group. Boost your mindset, boost your life. And this is what I call the habitual mindset. The repetition, what you put into your mind over and over again, is how you're going to act, is what you're going to project onto other people. So be very conscious about what you're putting into your mind, what you're filling your mind with. Because let me tell you this, if I sit here and I believe that I am successful, then guess what? It is going to project off of me to other people, and they're going to believe that I'm successful. But if I sit here right now and I say and telling myself over and over again, I'm gonna be successful. I will be a successful entrepreneur. I hope I'll be a successful entrepreneur. Then what am I projecting? The fact that I'm second guessing myself that maybe I'm not a good entrepreneur. And definitely if I'm sitting here saying, hey, I'm not a good entrepreneur, what do you think that's projecting? Definitely the fact that, hey, I'm not a good entrepreneur. It is all in your mindset and what you believe, because what you believe is directly correlated to what others are going to believe about you. So if you walk into a meeting, let's say you're trying to get a contract, and you walk into that meeting saying, I've got something to offer this person. I know that I can take them to the next level. I know that I can fulfill what they've asked me to. Then you're projecting that onto them, and you're more likely to get that contract. But if you're walking in, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm good enough. Lord, this is a big company. What if I don't do a good job? And guess what? Hey, you're projecting that as well. You know, and I'm telling you, don't be surprised if you don't get the contract, because it's all in your mindset and in your beliefs. Same thing as a parent. If you believe that you're a good parent, then guess what? You're going to do those actions. You're going to do the actions that you have to do to be a good parent. Same thing if you think that you're in control of your kids, if you know that you're in control of your kids, then guess what? You are. Because you're projecting that onto your kids. But if you believe that you're not, oh my goodness, my kids are bad, they don't listen to me, then guess what? You're projecting that as well. So I really want you to think about that. The next time you step out, into the world, the next time that you're going to meet someone, the next time that you're handling your kids, the next time that you're handling your husband, you got to have the mindset. You got to believe in what you're saying and what you're doing. Because if you don't, nobody else will. And I've personally found that adapting beliefs that are slightly outside of your reach is very powerful, because it changes your mindset. It changes really how you behave. And honestly, it's going to help you and let you grow. Let me tell you a little bit about me that you may not know. One thing that really has kept me and held me back for a while now is the fact that I felt like I wasn't a good speaker, that I was scared. I had a fear. I had this uncomfortable feeling inside of me when people would ask me to speak. I was like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm a writer. I've written since I could write. Since I could hold a pen, I've written. But speaking, really, I felt like it wasn't my thing. But I had to realize that if I was going to grow my business, if I was going to expand my brand, if I was going to get the Fearless Poets organization out there to the people that I needed it to go, then guess what I had to do? Yep, I had to speak. I had to get in front of people. I had to tell them about the message that I had to share and what my book was about and what my organization. I had to speak. So instead of telling myself over and over again that I wasn't good enough, that I was going to get up there and I was going to freeze up and I wasn't going to do a good job at all, guess what? I had to start telling myself, hey, Ashley, you are a good speaker. You are a good speaker. And after a while, I started to believe it. Because repetition, again, what you tell yourself over and over again, you then start to believe. So I started believing that I was a good speaker. And I implanted that into my subconscious mind so that when I got up on stage, it all came back to me. Ashley, you are a good speaker. Now that I have told you, basically, that you need to know your purpose, that you need to work on your time management skills and plan your day. I've told you how to really change your mindset and how important that is. And I told you about the habitual mindset, and basically what you feed your mind over and over again is going to come back to you. And now we're going to talk a little bit about resistance. Because I feel like resistance is something that we're all going to go through no matter what we do. You're going to face some kind of resistance at some time in your life. Some of us face more resistance than others, but we all face it at one time or another. Now, there's resistance from others, and then there's the resistance from within. Let me tell you about a story in my life that I had to face dealing with resistance. Mind you, I already told you that I'm a single mom. I'm a divorced mom of 3. But my family, when I had my first daughter at 18. I had my second daughter at 20. I was a divorced single mother of 3 by the time I was 22. My family, my friends, those close to me, everyone around me told me, you know what? You've ruined your life. You're not going to make anything of yourself now because the choices you've made have ruined you. They've ruined your chances of a future. And yet, I look back on it, and for a while I let that resistance get to me. But then I decided to push through it. I ended up graduating college with a 3.97 grade point average. I ended up, within my first year of doing books, I published 3 books. 2 of them became bestsellers. My bullying organization has reached people around the world. But yet I had everybody on my back. I had everybody telling me that I couldn't make it. Same thing when I became an entrepreneur. Everyone told me, hey, guess what? You're a single mother. You're going to become a single mother entrepreneur that is broke. Broke as a joke. No money in your bank account. It ain't going to work. But I was determined to push through that resistance and make it happen. And I'm not trying to brag on myself. I'm trying to tell you, guess what? Guess what? If I can make it, you can make it too. If I can overcome the resistance that I faced, you can too. I believe it. I believe in you. I truly believe in you. And do not let other people and their thoughts and their opinions of what you're doing or about you and your life and how you choose to live it. Do not let them take you off course. I want you to hashtag in the group right now, my vision is my vision. Hashtag my vision is my vision. Because let me tell you one thing. Your vision is your vision. You are the only person that needs to understand your vision. You're the only person that needs to see your vision. Nobody else has to understand it. Nobody. Because it's yours. And it's directly in line with your purpose. Now, we're going to briefly go through a little bit about how to handle resistance within yourself when it's coming from within you. And then we're going to get those selfies back out. And we're going to have, a little bit of an empowerment exercise. And I'm going to try to get this done in the time that I have left with y'all today because y'all have been truly an amazing audience. Truly amazing. Okay, so resistance from within. That means resistance that you put on yourself. It's almost like living in a state of denial. Most of the time, resistance is an unconscious defense mechanism rather than an intentional plan. Let me say that again. Jot this down in your notes because it is really important to understand that most of the time resistance, it's an unconscious defense mechanism from within inside of us rather than being an intentional plan. Resistance can come for many different reasons. It can come from fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of being not good enough, fear of being hurt, fear of losing something important to us. It can come from countless other reasons as well. But let me tell you one thing. What was the commonality in there? Fear. It's the fear and the inability to deal with the truth that's at the heart of the issue. It's basically, it's the idea that whatever we're resisting is so big. It's so big that we don't feel we can handle it. I didn't feel I could handle getting up on a stage in front of all these people. I didn't feel that I was good enough, so it held me back and it kept me stuck. And if we don't feel like that we can handle the necessary changes that we need to make to deal with the problem, then it will leave us stuck. It'll leave us stuck right in that place. And like I said, I've had my share of times when I was unwilling to accept the truth. I was unwilling to dig and find the inner core of what was actually happening. What was the real reason of why I feared something or resisted something in my life? And a lot of times it was because I didn't want to allow change to happen in my life. Tell me how many of you really want to get up and be uncomfortable all the time? You want to change. You want to change all the time. Every day you want a different change that you have to deal with. If that's you, raise your hand because I'm telling you it's not me. It is not me. But let me tell you, the more that I fought change and I fought the resistance, guess what? The more miserable I was. I had to learn to accept it. Because resistance and misery go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. Sometimes it's really a dull, unhappy feeling. And other times, honestly, it's just an outright pain fest. You're like, oh my God, I'm just plain miserable. But since we can't accept what it is, then we fight it, and then it makes it worse. So, ironically or not, we really resist because we want to avoid feeling uncomfortable. Honestly, who wants to go out there and feel uncomfortable? I just asked you that question, and I'm going to look in the group. I'm going to check it and see how many of you said, hey, I raised my hand. I want to feel uncomfortable. That's me. Because if you do, if that's you, then great. But that's not really the ordinary. Because being uncomfortable can be painful. It can be scary. But I'm going to tell you one thing. Facing your fears, accepting that you're resisting something, and then realizing how to overcome that, then creates movement. And movement is the beginning of growth. Movement is the beginning of you getting from here to getting over here where you want to be. Put this in your notes and hashtag into the group. Movement is growth. If you're not moving, guess what? You're not growing. You know, and I hate to be blunt about it, but guess what? I'm not going to be all for the hoopla right now because I'm telling you, being a mompreneur, it's serious. And all of these things that I'm talking about are serious because if any of these are off course, then guess what? You're going to start feeling overwhelmed. You're going to start feeling like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. But it takes you tweaking just a little bit these areas to better improve your CEO mom lifestyle. Think about it like this. You're standing on one side of a cliff and there's a bridge in between. But you're scared to walk across that bridge because you're scared that you're going to fall. You fear falling. You're scared to make that leap towards your dreams because you're scared that maybe it won't happen. You're scared of the outcome. You're scared to take that one step towards expanding your business. Because what if you fail? Will I really be content as a failure if this doesn't work? But you will never know if you don't try. See, if you're really committed to what you're doing, then you need to also be committed to getting out of your comfort zone. It's like that sweet spot on your couch. You're sitting back on that couch. I know me, I'll have my robe on, my fluffy slippers, and I'm sitting back chilling on my couch, and I get too comfortable to get up to go into my bed. So what do? And this has happened to me a few times. I'll fall asleep on that couch. Because I was comfortable, I was too comfortable to get up. So I'll fall asleep on there, and let me tell you one thing, I will wake up, my neck will be hurting, my head hurts, my back hurts, and I suffer the next day because of it. Well, it's the same thing. You're stuck in that comfort zone, and you're not stepping out of it. Guess what? You're going to have to deal with what happens because you're going to be missing opportunities. You're not expanding the way you want to be. You're not reaching those goals like you want to. You've got to step out of your comfort zone, and you've got to be able to say, hey, I accept the change that's going to happen in my life. I accept it. I'm going to have to deal with it. Change is a factor that is always going to happen in my life. I have got to accept it. And if you don't allow yourself to change and get out of that comfort zone, then resistance is likely to win. Only with total motivation and belief in yourself, your idea, your potential, the likelihood of you achieving your goal, will you be able to successfully fight against resistance. You have to believe. Going back to the mindset, repeating what we put in our mind, what happens over and over and over and over again is what we believe. So you have to believe. You have to continuously feed your mind positive thoughts that, hey, I'm going to accomplish my goal. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone because being comfortable is not worth losing what I want to accomplish. It is not worth losing the opportunities. It's not worth losing sight of my vision. It's just not worth it. So this week, I want you to make a commitment to doing one thing, just one thing that scares you. What is something? Write it down. Get out your pen and write down what scares you. What is something that you've been holding off doing because you really are frightened by it? What is that? Jot it down in your notes, and then I want you to do it this week. Now I want you to take back out that selfie because I'm running a little late on time. I want you to take out that selfie, and we're going to do an empowerment exercise. If you've seen other people posting their selfies in the group, I want you to go under it, and I want you to hashtag I believe in you. Because it takes one person believing in you to propel you to live in your greatness. So do that for someone else today. Pay it forward. I want you to take out that selfie, and we are going to repeat some affirmations. We are going to repeat the following affirmations. Repeat them along with me, and I'll post them in the group afterwards so you can add to them. You are beautiful. You are a winner. You are the best mom that you can be. You are the best entrepreneur that you can be. You are a successful woman, and you have the power to accomplish your goals and your dreams. Every day that passes, your business is bringing in more and more profit. Today, you're going to focus on being kind to yourself. And the last one, this is the most powerful one. I want you to look at yourself. I want you to smile. And I want you to say this. Your children benefit from having a strong, confident mompreneur as a mother. Now take a deep breath, because I want you to take it all in. You are a champion. You are a winner. You are a visionary mompreneur, meaning you are going after your visions full speed and you're not stopping no matter what obstacle, no matter what comes in your way. You refuse to let it get you off course. And I am proud of each of you. My time is almost up, but I want you to go out there and I want you to post, I am a hashtag visionary mompreneur, because you are. You are one. You're working towards making you and your family's lives better, touching people's lives with your business, and you're making sure that your kids are having the best life that you can give them. Pat yourself on the back for all you do. You can stay in contact with me at facebook.com/AshleyALove, and you can also follow me on Twitter at WriterAshleyL. And also, if you really want to stay in the conversation with me around being a more effective and efficient mompreneur and learn even more techniques and dive deeper into these, I do have a coaching program that will expand on the ideas that I've taught you today and that I've shared with you. And for only $25 down and $49 a month, you can receive a one-on-one coaching call with just me per month. And we will definitely sit there, dig deeper into what exactly your issues are, and find ideas that you can implement, tools that you can use, and strategies that you can also use to end up becoming more effective and efficient. You'll also be added to the Facebook group that's private just for the visionary mompreneurs, as well as you will be given access to the very exclusive Visionary Mompreneur phone call, which is every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where I give my best ideas of how I've learned to juggle the mompreneur lifestyle, as well as what other people that I've met and that I've worked with have learned and what's worked for them. You get notes with that as well as worksheets that you can use. So it is really an awesome way for you to continue this conversation and work with me, as well as you're going to get a copy of one of my favorite books that I put together, and that is The Secrets of the CEO Mom Juggle. And so that's going to have even more resources and tips that you can use. So if you're interested in this and you want to be a part of the Visionary Mompreneur Coaching, I want you to go to www.chargevisions.com. You can click on Visionary Mompreneur Coaching Package, and it will take you there to where you can fill out your information. You can learn more about it. It'll tell you a little bit more than I've told you. And like I said, it's only $25 today. It's usually $49 down, but because y'all have sat here and listened to me, it is $25 down. You must use the code at checkout, CEO Mom. So again, go to chargevisions.com and use the code CEO Mom to get started for only $25 tonight. I look forward to possibly working with some of you and for us to really go further into our discussion on how to be an effective and efficient visionary mompreneur. And I will be in the group afterwards. So let's really get down. I'll answer any of your questions. And let me tell you, until I see you next time, I want you to rock the CEO Mom lifestyle. Have a good night and God bless.